Good evening. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you hosting this. This is incredible. Thank you all for being here. It's an honor to have the opportunity to speak to you guys. So a little bit about myself. My name is Beto Dominguez. My first name is Norberto. So the reason I had to do that is because everybody that I know knows me as Beto. So when I say Norberto, they're like, who's that? I'm like, that's me. So I had to put that on all my campaign stuff. A little bit of background on myself. I've been in Colfax County for about 20 years now. I started my career with the Raton Police Department, and that was in 2005. So I worked there for approximately 11 years. I left that agency as a sergeant, and Sheriff Baca recruited me to come and work at the sheriff's office. So I've been there for about almost 9 years, 8 years right now at the sheriff's office. It's been a great career. I enjoy doing what I do. Something I kind of even tell our guys, the day you are not ready or willing to do this job, it's time to find something else, because you're putting yourself and the community in danger. That means your heart's not in it, right? My heart's been in it since the beginning. I truly enjoy just helping people. That's in my heart. Every day I look forward to what's going to happen that day. Every day is different. That's probably the coolest part about our job. Every single day, you don't know what's going to happen, from a simple motorist assist to something maybe tragic, right? We deal with all of that. While I've been here at the sheriff's office, I've had a lot of training. I could sit here and list all this training to you guys and explain it to you, but that's why I gave you a card. I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about what I want to do for the community, okay? So one thing that's important to me is our certified general instructor. That's important for our agency. How many general instructors? I think we have total of 4 general instructors at our agency. What's important about that, it allows our agency to do a lot of our training in-house rather than having to send our guys to Roswell, to Albuquerque. A lot of the biennium training that we're able to do, we can do it in-house. And that's important because to me, that saves everybody money, right? We're not having to pay per diem and send them here and put mileage on cars and all of that stuff. So hugely important. All of the certifications that I have listed on there, they're great. They've given me a lot of opportunities to do really amazing things. I'm a drone pilot. That is so much fun. I enjoy the heck out of that. We've used it all over the county several times on emergencies, on search and rescues, on standoffs, you name it, we've used it for that. And it's a great tool. Everything we focus on at the Colfax County Sheriff's Office is training. I can tell you the deputies that we have, the sergeant that we currently have, they do an incredible job out there. And that's what's important to me, making sure they have the training, the tools, and the ability to do their job correctly. To not have to worry about, well, is my vehicle going to break down on the way to a call? Believe it or not, that's happened to me at my prior agency. Unfortunately, we just didn't have the best cars or the best budget, right? So we were kind of stringing things together. I had a vehicle at one point, my very first vehicle, it's kind of a funny story, was just a regular cop cruiser, but it burned a quart of oil a day. So I had a box in my trunk that I'd have to fill up every week. So when I went to the police academy, because that's part of it, you go to the police academy and you spend like 4 or 5 months there. The range instructor said, hey, go grab your unit. I need it out on the range because we need your lights. I'm like, sir, you don't want my unit out there. He's like, go get your darn car. I'm like, okay. So I park it on the range. So it starts smoking because it's just burning oil. 5 minutes later, he's like, get that dang car out of here. I'm like, I told you. But it's kind of funny, but that's kind of where I started. Where we are today, it's a whole new era, right? We have so many different obstacles that we face every single day. Whether it's whatever kind of call we're dealing with. And a big focus, I'm a de-escalation instructor, okay? So what that means is we teach our deputies the importance of de-escalating, not escalating situations, but bringing them down, talking to people. I always tell everybody the most important thing that people, when we show up to a call, it's that person's crisis at that moment. they're dealing with the worst thing that they've ever dealt with. It could be small, it could be big. In their eyes, it's the worst thing. People want to be heard. That's important. I can tell you, all our guys do an incredible job with that. It's such an honor that we're not out there having to take people right into cuffs. I've talked more people into cuffs in the last 8 years than I did in my entire career. And it's kind of cool. I've shown up to calls, and there's been, I'll give you an example, domestics. And you talk to people. Again, people want to be heard, right? That's important. By the end of it, the gentleman realized, yeah, I was wrong. Turned around, I handcuffed him. No fighting, no nothing. And the wife's like, yeah, he messed up. It was fine. Funny part of that story is when I got outside, it was one of those big, heavy snow days, up here, as a matter of fact, and I was driving a really short Explorer. I got stuck. So the gentleman that I just arrested, he's like, hey, you want me to get out and push? I'm like, no, it's fine. But here comes his wife. She's like, you know what? Let me go get my toe strap, and I'll tell you. I'm like, pulled me out, and I was back on the road. But the importance of de-escalation, I mean, that's huge. And I think from when I started this career to where we are today, it's not just show up, handcuff, and take to jail. Talk to people. Get to figure out what the problem is, what their issue is. And again, our deputies do an incredible job. With that being said, what else can I tell you guys about myself? A little bit of history. I don't want to talk about all that other stuff.
Well, did you introduce your wife and children?
I sure can, actually. Thank you for saying. Where are they at? They're hiding back there. I brought my beautiful wife and my 2 daughters up here. This is my wife, Robbie Jo. She's hiding behind the camera. And my daughters, Kiki and Aubriella. And they're a huge part of why I'm here.
Behind every strong man is a stronger woman.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry.
I'm crying in baseball.
That's important too. Thank you for bringing that up. Our families, right? Most importantly, I tell my guys, paperwork can always be fixed. I don't care about the paperwork. We can fix the paperwork the next day. As long as you guys are going home to your family, that's what matters to me. There's always going to be something that maybe needs to be corrected or changed. We can fix that the next day, but you guys going home, that's number one, every single day. Very, very important. I put a lot of emphasis on family because it's important to me, and I believe everybody values their family, and it's a big part of who they are. And I hopefully can have rubbed that off on my guys that I believe family is number one. If you don't have that, it's a tough life to lead. And I can't tell you guys how thankful I am for my family. They've traveled all over the county with me. They continue to. One day, one of my daughters is going to be tired of it, I'm sure, but until after the election, they go with me everywhere. So it's pretty awesome. What else can I tell you guys? I'm trying to figure out. I don't want to bore you guys with any silly stories, or I got some good stories, funny ones, but we can go on about those all day. Yes, ma'am.
What's your long-term plan?
My long-term plan. Well, my goal is to retire from the sheriff's office. God willing, I could do 2 terms, and because that in New Mexico, you could, as a sheriff, you could only do 2 terms. So my goal is to serve 2 terms and prepare whoever is going to move into my position at that point. Ultimately, that's big, right? We want to make sure we're not just going to leave whoever's moving into this position or as sheriff high and dry. So prepare them, get them ready. My long-term plan is, my biggest plan is to be out in the community more. I think that's important. I want to be able to show up, be a part of the meetings, be a part of coffee every once in a while. Like if I can get up here, I will be up here as much as I can. I love it up here. Can't afford to live here, but I love it up here. It's a great place. Also continue to, I talk about the training. Our guys have great training. They do a great job with what they do. You expand on that, right? I have a great platform to grow on. Most importantly, continue to train our guys. Continue to provide them the tools that they need. Yes, some tools are expensive. Yes, vehicles are expensive. We drive those vehicles hard. Unfortunately, we have to. And that puts a lot of wear and tear. Fortunately, we've been very blessed to have vehicles that we can rotate every so often. And the good thing is we have a lot of contracts with the counties, with the municipalities, where they provide money and we were able to replace those vehicles. The good thing is once we replace those vehicles go back to that village, for example, here in Eagle Nest. Once we're done with them, they can continue to use them. So they're not going to go sit in a part, and we don't drive them until they're undrivable, which is good. I think it's about tops that we have vehicles is about 2 years. Doesn't seem like a long time, but trust me, they get a lot of beating in those 2 years. So, yes, sir.
How long is the term of service?
4 years, sir. So
4 per lifetime or 4 or 2 consecutive?
you can do 2 consecutive, and then I believe you can leave at one point and come back, but I think it's just 2 terms total, if I remember correctly. Yes, is that correct? Yeah, before you can come back. Yes, you can leave for 2 years and then you can run again. So I have about 14 years in law enforcement right now. And I'll be right with you. And once I complete that I'll be able to retire with 2 terms in. So that would be my ultimate goal. Yes, ma'am.
You probably noticed Colfax County is really large.
Yes, ma'am.
We're way over here and y'all are way there.
Absolutely.
What plans or ideas do you have to increase coverage, law enforcement coverage in Moreno Valley?
Absolutely. So right now we have a kind of a plan in place where we're able to rotate. So we currently run 2 shifts. Okay. It's a 7 to 3 and a 3 to 11. Between 11 and 7 in the morning, we have an on-call schedule that if you're on call and you get called out, you just go deal with whatever call it is. The rotation, we've managed to increase the amount of hours up here. Obviously, the best solution is to have somebody up here permanently, right? I'm working on that. The biggest part of that is recruitment. It's always been a problem, and it's even harder now because to find qualified applicants, it's hard. We'll set up a test date. We'll run them through the PT test. First thing we do is a PT test, right? They pass that, they can go on to the written portion, and then an interview, and so forth, and then a background. Unfortunately, some people don't even make it past the PT test. And it's not a difficult test, but some people just don't prepare for it. So that makes it hard. So we don't have people knocking down our door to come work for us, or any agency for that matter. So with that being said, there is hope, hopefully. There is some individuals that are possibly considering applying with the sheriff's office if I get elected and actually working up here. So that would be a great solution. That would be an awesome solution so we could have somebody stationed up here. Part of that, again, it's expensive, right? We don't make that much money. I promise you, we do not make very much money. So it's kind of hard to station somebody up here and say, okay, well, you're going to live up there on a cop salary and figure it out. That makes it hard. There's people that are willing to help, which is amazing. Nathan being one of them. He's willing to help with housing if we happen to get somebody that wants to live up here. That's incredible. And if we can get them to go through the process and successfully pass everything, we potentially may have a couple of candidates that were willing to live up here. So fingers crossed. That would alleviate some of the problems. I'll be right with you. That'll alleviate some of the coverage up here. But again, one of my goals is I talk about it. I talk about it on my page. I want to be in the community. You'll see me up here. Not just today, not just when I'm campaigning. I truly want to be a part of the community, come out and visit with you guys, talk to you, hear your problems and questions. Everybody has concerns. I want to hear them. I talked about it in my one of my videos that I made on my Facebook page is talking about ripping the door off of my office. I want that open door policy. I think that's important. If you want to talk to me, come talk to me. I always feel there's things that can be lost in translation via text message, via an email. You don't get the full story, right? If you can talk to somebody in person, you understand what their feelings are and what they're really trying to say. So I think that's important. And we may be removing the door at my office if I do get elected because, hey, come in and talk to me at any time. That's important. Yes, sir.
Making the distinction between the criminal law enforcement and traffic enforcement.
Yes, sir.
It's not a question of priority, but I think we have a serious problem with speeding in this town.
Absolutely.
What plans do you have to have a positive effect on that?
Absolutely. So traffic enforcement is big, and it's big anywhere. Again, we're short a couple of deputies right now. I'm currently on the road, so I'm in the actual rotation. I just got off at 3:00, and I ran up here for this. So it makes it hard, right? If we don't have enough guys to cover the entire county, it's 3,700 square miles. That's a lot of ground to cover. My goal ultimately would be to have somebody stationed up here that we could say, hey, okay, you're up there. Granted, we got to rotate them every once in a while so they don't get stuck in the mountain, as we call it, all the time. But that's one of the goals. But if we can devise a plan where we do traffic enforcement in the different villages and so forth, we just make a plan, we enforce it, and go through with it.
What's the level of collaboration that the sheriff's department has with the state police with respect to that?
So state police and our agency work great together. Whenever we need help or they need help, we back each other up. Unfortunately, again, we're so spaced out, and they're limited as well. They don't have a bunch of new guys coming in, so sometimes they only have one guy for 3 counties, and they're having to run all over. That's even harder. We only have our county to deal with. But if they need help, we're always there, and vice versa. Working relationships with Angel Fire, that's important. Good working relationships with Raton Police Department, with Springer Police Department, all agencies. I think that's huge. If we can get everybody working together, it's just going to make everybody's life easier. I would say we all wear the same badge, right? It might be a little different, but we're doing it for a reason because we're police officers. So why not everybody work together? That's important. That's a big part of something I want to focus on. Yes, sir.
Well, I think longer than that, I'm kind of a blunt type of guy.
Yes, sir.
The biggest thing that Jack's asking there is, can you tell us we're not going to be left behind? And I understand we're short staffed because, I know most of those guys, and I understand that. And I know you, as we've talked, there's guys that want to come
Yes.
work.
Absolutely.
But when they get to you, can you tell us that obviously this is your voting pool here?
Yeah.
That open door is good for the guys. Can I reach out and call you and say, you know what, Beto, we got a problem. They're just still not slowing down. Jack's watching them come by.
Right.
Jack's watching the fifth wheel, towing the boat behind it, do 70 miles per hour past the visitors.
Right.
Custodial arrest by the state.
and I know with TJ and those guys, they're talking about getting maybe one guy out of the next week.
Right. If they're lucky.
I don't see they're not gonna have a whole lot more to improve.
Right.
So
absolutely. And just like I've said, I think all of our entire county is important, right? In the ideal world, we could have somebody place here or 2 people here all the time in every little town that we have. We cover Miami, we cover Springer, we cover Maxwell, we cover Cimarron, and of course, Eagle Nest. And we assist Angel Fire PD as well when they need help. I think even last week, our guys had to fly up there to help them on something. That collaboration is important, but I think part of it is devising a plan, making sure that we're here, we're present. I've been spending as much time as I can up here. I'll come up and visit. I'll sit on the road and I'll be right with you. Yep. And I'll sit on the road and run some traffic. I wish I could get more, but I'll be sitting out on Fisherman's Lane. That's another one that we've had complaints. People speeding down Fisherman's Lane. I had one of our deputies sit out there for about 3 hours. He's like, I haven't got one speeder. I'm like, well, try again tomorrow. But realize that you guys are just as important as the rest of the county. Sometimes, again, today I only had myself and another deputy on duty all day. Yesterday we had 2 as well. We dealt with a call in U Park, and he was dealing with calls on the south side of Colfax. We get split up sometimes. Ideally, again, my plan would be to have somebody here that can actually enforce that. But making traffic operations where we can actually sit up here and say, okay, Monday, Tuesday, you guys are in this village, see what you got, stop some vehicles. Most of them are people that aren't locals that think they could just speed through town. And unfortunately, that happens a lot.
Well, I'm going to go for a tire repair shop and one of the tax strips.
And that'll stop them and slow them down and open up that tire shop, and you'll be doing well.
Well,
and Ruidoso.
Yes, ma'am.
And they have a main highway. They can have speed humps,
Hmm.
but we can't get speed humps here.
That's a village thing. I don't know because I think it's a highway 6. It's a highway, considered a highway. So maybe that's a question we need to ask Ruidoso how they got that, because I wouldn't know. Go to him with the mic. Oh, she's going to bring the mic over, so because we're broadcasting it, so she can.
So people can hear what you're saying on his phone.
They won't understand what I'm saying.
You need a translator.
Who said that? So, Radio, great to see you. Love to see you in front of you. People, some of you will know, some of you won't. But from England, I was a cop for 30 years.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Well,
thank you.
Policing over there is getting the same, but it's very different to here, I've got to be
Yes.
honest. What I learned, I did 10 years in the city,
Mhm.
and then I did 20 years, as like the deputy would be, I had 8 villages I looked after.
Oh, wow.
And I understand the pressures that the guys are on,
Yes, sir.
but it's accessibility by face-to-face chat.
Mhm.
Very rarely, if ever, have I seen a deputy get out of his car, even if he just leans on the hood with a can of Coke, he's more accessible behind
You're right.
the smoke windows.
You're right.
So Jeff Montoya, God rest his soul, you knew Jeff.
Oh, I knew Jeff very well.
God
God
bless
rest
him.
his soul. Yes, sir.
He would get out of his truck and chat. If you saw a group of people in the street or in their front yard, he'd
Yes,
get
sir.
out and chat to them. And I used to talk to him all the time, and I said, how often do people approach you? And he said, they're scared of us. And I said, so the community is
Yes.
the eyes and ears. How do they get through to you and your deputies? If they know something,
Mhm.
and it might not be, they don't want everybody to know they're telling you, how do they communicate with you? Because
That's
if the deputy's standing on the side of the road for
Right.
10 minutes and you walk over and say, hey, buddy, I heard that Johnny Smith, sorry, John, if you're here, Johnny Smith was doing a bit of this last week. How does that get back to you?
absolutely. So that's a great question. And I think, sometimes, believe it or not, sometimes when we're sitting on the side of the road, or the deputies are, they're probably typing up a report or doing something. That's sometimes what
Oh, I
they're
know
doing.
they're not just sitting there enjoying the day and looking at the clock. I know that. Yeah.
But what I would say is, don't be afraid to approach us. I'll be the first one to come up and shake your hand and talk to you. A lot of our guys are, and I think not having that stigma that we're not approachable. Please don't feel like you can't. But at the same time, if I do get elected, please come and talk to me, and you'll see me here. I give you my word, you will see me up here probably more than you want to, because Nathan cooks really well. So, well, he's got great cooks in there. The food is amazing.
But I go up and chat to the deputies in the car, and they're happy to chat. And I know they're busy doing their
Yes,
reports and
usually
things.
they're doing something.
But it's just, yeah.
Yeah, no. So again, I would say don't be afraid to come and talk to us. If you have a question, you have a concern, or you have an idea, hey, there's something going on. Another avenue that we've used in the Raton area, which is technically available up here, is we have Crime Stoppers, Raton Crime Stoppers, that goes countywide. That is completely anonymous. I'm actually on the board for the Crime Stoppers board, and it's underused tremendously. We have funding they have funding in their account that they could use for rewards, but people aren't giving us the tips. And like you said, sometimes people don't want to let everybody know. It's completely anonymous, and it's a great tool, but underused. Reach out. I can get you that number. I don't have. It's 24. I don't know right off the top of my head, but I will get it for you. I have it on my phone, and it's recorded. So,
242 cops?
I'm sorry.
Is it 242 cops?
No, it's a. Can you look it up on your phone, babe?
Oh, no, you bring me my phone?
It's 505 or 575 tips or something like that. It's a different number, but it's kind of cool because it works great when people use it. So don't be afraid to use that because we can use it anywhere in the county, which is kind of nice. Yes, ma'am.
What distinguishes you from your opponent in this race?
To me, I guess ultimately I am here for the people. First and foremost, God, but for the people of Colfax, that's important to me. I represent an amazing bunch of guys. And to me, I mean, if you are not out there with them, which I've learned recently, was it 4 months ago when I first went back on the road, I didn't know what I was doing with the computer. I didn't know how to write a ticket. I'm like, hey guys, how do I do this? It's nice. It's good to be out. it's good to step away from behind the desk and actually be out on the road, right? I don't feel like I'm an expert in anything, but I feel I am able to make myself accessible. It's not only the community, but to any of my deputies, the sergeant. We currently only have one sergeant. I don't know if I didn't mention that, but I'm currently the lieutenant with the sheriff's office. So for the past 4 years, I was in the office doing a lot of administrative stuff. We lost one of our sergeants. I went on the road. But I think it's important to make myself accessible. I want to continue to build this agency, make it the best agency that we can make it. It's in a great place right now. I just want to make it better than it is. There's always room for improvement, as I mentioned, whether that's bringing in more guys, finding ways to recruit. That's difficult because, again, nobody wants to do this job. It's hard to get somebody to make it all the way through the process. But recruitment's big. We don't have the funding like state police that can offer bonuses. That's another challenge, I'll be honest with you, where people coming out of the New Mexico State Police Academy are making $45 an hour. We can't match that in Colfax County. However, there's different ways we can compensate that, the offset, right? That they're not going to make $45 an hour, but we help them with their medical, we help them with their retirement. So it kind of offsets the amount that they can actually take home. They're not going to get rich, but that's important, I think. So continue to grow this agency, continue to build on the foundation that we currently have, and make it the best agency that we could possibly make it. Yes.
I went through the application process for the
Yes, sir.
Sheriff's Department, and I can attest to the professionalism that the department has. And some of the things, I'm pretty sure all of us have seen, is the new uniforms
Yes, sir.
that the deputies have, some of the newer vehicles.
Mhm.
I know you got new firearms coming in.
Correct.
What new stuff, like upgrading technologies? I know you got the drone platforms and stuff, but what can we see around the county for like cutting edge law enforcement?
So there is such thing as some of the, like Angel Fire has license plate readers, right? And they actually have in Clayton, their vehicles have them installed on their police cars. That would be something that's invaluable. I mean, we're traveling all the highways all over the county. I promise you, there's more than a handful of criminals that go past us every single day that we're not able to identify. I think that would be a great tool to have. And we can always find the funding. The state has a lot of money, and how we use it, that would be one of the technologies that I would love to implement. Currently, we're going to be swapping radios again to go to a digital platform. We're on a digital, but it's going to be the upgraded version, basically. I think that's important because for a long time, for example, when the guys come up here, they're out in the middle of a field. We had no radio communications with them. They're having to use their cell phone or whatever the case. To me, that distracts that officer or deputy from the job that they have to do, right? Oh, now I have to call somebody to tell them what's going on. Right now, we have tracking. That's big because now our dispatch knows exactly where we are whenever we're logged in. We're still working out the kinks on that. And there's always better platforms. Obviously, improving that would be important. If there's something that's better, that'll work. Because, again, we're out in the middle of nowhere. 9 times out of 10, I'm struggling to find some of the addresses out here. I'm not going to lie. You guys have some weird addresses up here. I'll call the dispatch. I'm like, it says I'm here. She's like, nope, turn this way, this way. Okay, thank you. But, yeah, so there's always technology that'll improve our ability. Right now, we just got to grow on that. So, yes, ma'am.
Couldn't you plug that into a GPS and put their coordinates in and find it that way?
Sometimes we don't get the coordinates. If I plug in an address, I'll tell you that happened to myself and another guy that I was with the other day. I started going to the house. He's like, "Oh, you're going the wrong way." I'm like, "Nope, this is where my maps is taking me." He's like, "Well, mine's taking me this way." It's not always accurate, unfortunately. But with the system that we currently have, dispatch can actually give us directions, which is kind of nice. And we find our way through all these little hidden rows that you guys have up here. Yes, sir.
Does the county have a federal aid coordinator? I know for law enforcement.
Directly, we just, right now, we have, the sheriff does a lot of the grant funding. But a federal and directly that I'm aware of, no. We don't have somebody directly that we work with federally.
I'm sure with police departments, but at the county level,
Mm.
so that there was a dedicated grant writer.
The county does not have a dedicated grant writer right now. That's another tool that we're going to have to figure out how to do. And if anybody really great at grant writing, please take my number because grants are important. Is that you?
No.
I'll take your number.
I was that at one point.
Were you? Okay. And current sheriff has done a great job with that. He's managed to acquire a lot of great grants that have been able to give us really great equipment. Ultimately, that's what's important. Yes, sir.
2 questions. One, you opened the door.
Yes, sir.
You said God is important.
Absolutely.
I'm the pastor of the Baptist.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Number 2, I welcome sheriff deputies to park in our parking lot.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Bring you out coffee.
Oh, hey. I'll be
We
there.
have people going to school 60 miles an hour to that 90-degree turn.
Yes, sir.
We're waiting for them to come through the house one of these days.
Yeah, that's terrible. No, absolutely.
Yeah, they're welcome there anytime.
Thank you.
Question. It's on the news constantly.
Yes.
New Mexico is a sanctuary state.
Mm-hmm.
Colfax County is a sanctuary county.
Right.
What is your feelings on illegals and working with ICE?
So that's a great question. So ICE is on a federal level, right? If they were to come into Eagle Nest today, right? Do they have more power than I do? Yeah, they do. Are they able to go out and enforce whatever they're enforcing? Yeah, absolutely. Now, going back a little on that, they're still law enforcement to an extent, correct?
Yeah, they are.
You know, they have arrestability. We all wear different badges, right? But we all do the same job. Are we shorthanded? Yeah. Am I going to be able to, if I was sheriff at the time and they came in here, dedicate 2-3 deputies? Probably not. But if they were to need help, something bad happened, we would be there to respond. It's kind of a catch-22 with, we actually just received some direction on that with something that recently changed in the state, and I haven't read the entire policy, but it kind of covers that as to what we will do. As far as Hill Maldonado Detention Center, I don't know how they would handle that if they were to detain and transport. That's a good question.
Yeah, because if they're contained, if they're arrested and in the custody of Colfax County,
Mm-hmm.
many other counties through New York or Minnesota, wherever,
Right.
are turning them loose instead of letting them go to
Keep
ICE.
them there. Again, that would be a decision, I guess. It would come up to the jail what they're going to do because we don't have control as the sheriff's office. We don't control the jail,
Okay.
so they're kind of on a separate. Like in Colorado, a lot of the sheriff's office actually manage the jails. We don't, so that would kind of be more of a VMDC question that I probably couldn't answer for you directly on that. Yes, sir.
The way I understand the sanctuary city business and sanctuary county and state is that the entity that has arrested the illegal alien
Mm-hmm.
doesn't bother to notify us if they're illegal. They just turn them loose. That's the problem.
So I can tell you. So let me give you a little bit of background on a call that I had. Okay, this was back when I was at the Raton Police Department. So I stopped a person that was wrong way driving, heading towards Raton on I-25. Stopped him, arrested him. He was drunk. Whenever we enter somebody in our system, whether they're wanted by another state, by a federal agency, whatever, they would be notified immediately if there is an active warrant. So with this one in particular, this person was held in our jail for about 3 days, and all of a sudden I get a notice that my case is no longer active. I said, what happened? He said, ICE came and picked him up. Mind you, this was 10 years ago, and where ICE wasn't as involved. So immigration, that's what they're normally called, came and picked him up. I never saw the person again. So with them not being notified, I don't quite understand because our system would automatically flag it if they are wanted, if there's a warrant or whatever the case may be, if they're a dangerous subject, if they've been known to fight law enforcement, we get those flags as well. So anytime we enter it into our NCIC, which is the system that runs them, yes, it should flag it. So whether they don't come pick him up or they do, that's a federal question I probably couldn't answer, but there is a notification that happens.
Because it seems like most of the sanctuary cities and state problems that we have back in the north and the northeast.
Yes, sir.
Is they don't bother to notify us. Turn the bid loose. So
Wow.
as long as we're notifying us, I'm happy.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I also serve as a chaplain in the valley.
Yes, sir.
What is your thoughts on the involvement of chaplains in serving you guys and law officials in situations that you run into?
I think you guys are an essential tool. And I'll be honest with you, the first time that I knew you guys had a team, right, up here? Is it 5 or 6?
About 5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome. Chief Hogriff is the one that kind of mentioned it to me, and I got really invested, and I think that's a great idea. Raton Police Department has one chaplain. He's one of the deputies. I mean, one of the officers, not a deputy. But involving you guys and starting something, it actually sparked my interest, and I've actually talked to him saying, hey, maybe we can do something up that will be countywide where we can involve more people. I think that's a great thing to do. So no, please. Yeah. If you have any ideas, that I wanted to get the contact information to get more information on it so I can talk to, his name is Zach Cox. He's a RPD officer.
We were here, a situation right around the corner here.
Yes, I was.
Back about 3 or 4 of us chaplains were there.
And that was great because that probably, again, that's almost another de-escalation tool.
Yeah.
Where you guys show up and listen and talk to them, which is great. So I have nothing against that. I think that's a great tool. Yes, sir.
We're 2 days from the primary. Do we have an undersheriff yet?
Not officially. I will announce it probably right after the primaries. That's my goal. But I have a really strong candidate that I hope they will accept it and be a part of it. But yes, you will know probably, I'm going to throw a guess, maybe middle of next month. I will officially announce it. And good candidate. I hope you guys accept him. So it is a guy. But yeah, I'll definitely announce that sooner than later. Any other questions? Anything else I can answer for you?
How many are on the staff at the sheriff's office altogether?
Currently, including myself, the sheriff and undersheriff, we have 11 total. Okay, so that's why I'm back on the road, because it kind of puts it kind of short. And then we have a dedicated court security deputy that's certified, but he's at the courts every single day. He handles transports. He handles anything internally at the office. So ideally, it would be great to have 2 more. That would be wonderful, because that would alleviate a lot of the extra shifts that sometimes, like right now, unfortunately, one of our deputies is injured. So we've had to shift a lot of our days off to cover that, right? Again, to me, it's important for you to be home.
Office staff?
What's that?
Office staff?
Office staff. Which part? What about them?
How many?
Oh, we have a total of 1, 2. Now you got me thinking 3. So, is it 3? Yeah, Virginia. 3, yes. We have 3. We have one actually dedicated to SORNA. He's uncertified, so he's not a deputy, but he handles the sex offenders for Colfax County, and that's a big program as well. But he is not a certified one. So total altogether, we have 11, including 2 secretaries and the uncertified deputy. So 14 total.
How many women deputies?
We have none right now. We did a long time ago. Her name was Nicolina. She worked with us for a long time. I worked with her at the Raton Police Department, and she decided she wanted to go back to school. So yeah, but we'll welcome any female to come work with us. Trust me. I've seen what she can do, and she's helped me out in a lot of calls that she was hanging on to a guy that she was flailing like a little fly, but she held on to, and she helped. So I believe anybody can do this job as long as you are dedicated and willing to do it. So any other questions I can answer? I have some questions that were given to me, so I'm going to go over them. But if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll go over these. Anybody? Nobody? I know there's something.
I just had a weird random question.
No, please.
Do your deputies carry stuffed animals when they respond to family situations where there's a bunch of little kids?
Yes, they do. We have.
Do you have a donation program for that?
We don't have a donation program per se. We get them donated about once a year. We'll get a couple of big bags of them, and we try to. If the guys want to throw them in their cars, some of them do, and that's important to have that because there's a lot of situations where the little stuffed animal makes a world of a difference. So yes. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to start answering some of these. And they're not signed by anybody, so they're just questions that were given. So it says, your opponent talks a lot about change. What changes do you feel need to happen in the sheriff's office, and how will you accomplish those goals? To be honest, there's not much to change, but build from it, right? At this point, we have a great staff. I'm holding on to dear life that we don't lose anybody to another agency because, of course, money talks, right? It makes it easy. Hey, I can make 10 more bucks an hour somewhere else. Why not go? Retention's important to me. But continuing to provide the tools, provide the ability for these guys to do their job safely, to be able to go home every night and provide the best possible service to the community, that's important to me. That's very important. So really, change, there's not much change that's going to happen other than me moving into that position and hopefully continuing to lead the great staff that we currently have. I can't say enough good things about them. They do an incredible job. So let me see what else we have here. Okay. I hear your opponent has a plan to station on-call officers at the substation so we can have coverage in the valley. What is my plan? To be honest with you, that does not work.
Why would you want to station him at one spot?
What do you mean?
Why would you want to station him at one spot?
Or at the substation to sleep? Well, I think what it means is to have them sleep there, like overnight. Yeah, that's what that would be impossible. Budget-wise, we couldn't afford to probably pay 24 hours per shift, and that would be a 24-hour shift if they're having to respond from there. Right now, we have the on-call, so they're able to respond. Unfortunately, yes, it does take some time to get up here, but I don't see that as placing somebody in a substation, taking them away from their home to sit up here and sleep on a cot. Bad idea. That would cause, in my opinion, that would cause a lot of morale issues with our deputies because now you're stuck in a little 2x4 room sleeping on a cot overnight. Quality of life will go down for that individual that's stuck up here for 2 nights in a row. I slept on a cot and I hate sleeping on cots. And I'm sure a lot of you military veterans have slept on plenty of cots that wouldn't be comfortable. Financially, again, it would not make sense to station somebody up here. If we had somebody permanently, I'll be right with you. If we had somebody permanent up here, that would be the best solution, to be able to have a couple of deputies, if not at least one, that lives up here and have that ability to respond. So no, I would never. I had to live up here for about a month when we had the fires. Now, granted, the resort put us up in a really nice condo. We weren't complaining, and they fed us like firemen. If you guys know how many calories, I don't know, these guys consume a lot of calories, and they were feeding us while we're sitting there coordinating stuff. But it was hard to be away from our families, even though we had to be up here for the fires. And to make that a rotation where these guys are having to do that constantly, I don't think it would be fair. Yes, sir.
Simple follow on to what you said.
Yes.
So if a deputy were to be housed up here, Nathan provided housing, your deputies take their patrol car home with them?
Yes.
They do? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
yeah.
you would have more, if we had somebody resident here like we used to have, we'd have more visual presence.
Visibility, absolutely, and that's important. Yeah. So that would be, they can, anywhere they live in the county, that they get a take-home vehicle. So let's see. Well, this was kind of answered earlier. How do you feel you will help better represent the Valley when we feel currently, can't read that, higher priorities, basically everybody else is higher priority? Again, it's difficult sometimes to get up here. It's difficult when there's 2 of us on. Recruitment is huge. If I can get a couple of more bodies, that would make a world of a difference. Even if we got 2 more bodies, we could probably dedicate a lot more time up here on patrol. Granted, the perfect solution is having somebody live up here. That would be a blessing. That way we're able to have somebody here constantly. But again, a part of that would be making sure we rotate them so they're not always just stuck in the valley, right? So that's a good question. I think I don't feel that any of our villages are less important. I think everybody's just as important. And again, I've enjoyed being on the road. I go visit every single village, every single, I'll cruise the entire county in a day. Yes, I use a lot of gas, but I think it's important to be around and be visible. Our guys do a great job in doing so when they're not busy. The thing about our agency is, our office, I should say, our guys start the case and they take it from beginning to end. There's not an investigator. I used to be the detective for the sheriff's office, but slowly, obviously, we had to pull away from that. I went to lieutenant position. We don't currently have a detective. So when these guys are dealing with one call, that could be, a pretty severe call, they're taking it from beginning to end. And that's important. However, that takes away from them being able to come in patrol if they're doing follow-ups or whatever the case may be. Again, the best solution, recruitment, getting more bodies up here. That would be huge. I talked to a representative about 3 months ago from Santa Fe because Maxwell did a really cool program where they're building a new school, but the state was able to provide, I believe, 3 houses to recruit teachers. I'm like, hey, can we do something like that in the valley? Why not? I mean, there's funding for everything. It's just got to talk to the right person and get that funding. So that would be a great goal for me to figure out how we could get that. Somehow have the state fund a house. Yes, you still have to pay maybe a rent, but not as high, and pay for your electricity and gas or whatever the case may be. Yes, ma'am.
So for recruiting in the future to recruit newer, younger people, do you guys do anything with the schools?
Currently,
go there and talk to them and try to recruit them. High school level, that's the perfect time to start getting them in.
you're right. Now, in the state of New Mexico, you have to be 21 before you can actually go to the academy. So there's always that little gap, right? I think it's important to be in the schools, and whenever we have the ability, the guys are in the schools for events or anything that happens. We try to show up as much as we can. There hasn't been a really strong focus on recruiting, again, because we're shorthanded. We don't have the ability to send 2 guys, hey, go to Colorado and set up a booth at an event. It's not possible. But that's important. Recruiting is important. And you're right. If we could get some of the younger generation to kind of get excited about it, because that's where my first idea of being in law enforcement started. Prior to that, I did sales for a long time. And then I said, I want to be a cop. My brother said, you want to do what? Because, yeah, because I made a lot of money in sales. I was like, yeah, I want to be a cop. And he thought I was crazy. But here I am 18 years later, and I absolutely love what I do every single day. So that's a great point, though. I appreciate that. Yes, sir.
Do you have a maximum staffing level that you have a cap on?
Currently, it would be 13. So we have 11. We could have 2 more. If we could have 2 more applicants, that would put us at max capacity and alleviate a lot of overtime. Let's put it that way.
Who set that staffing level?
It's determined by basically what we can get. We're budgeted for, right? So the county decides, yes, you have this amount of money. Yes, you can hold on to these 2 positions, but unfortunately, the county can say at any point, well, we need to absorb those positions to hire elsewhere. So it's really important that we hire or recruit somebody sooner than later, because if not, there's always a possibility of losing it. So yeah, the county. Yes, ma'am.
What can we do to support our existing officers?
You know what? I think first off, I would say don't feel like you can't approach us ever. Any one of our guys, they are super personable. They look serious. They act mean. They're not. They're a bunch of little teddy bears, actually.
They do smile. I saw that.
But approachability, knowing that we're approachable, just continue to even supporting like an event like this. Be involved, and if you have questions, approach us. Don't be afraid. That's huge. All right, I got a long one here, so let me. All right, from what I understand, your opponent is the head football and wrestling coach in Raton. Do you feel that leaves enough time to effectively do the job as a sheriff? What are your extra responsibilities above and beyond sheriff, and how do you plan to manage those responsibilities? So being the sheriff of Colfax County, being the lieutenant, okay, for the past three years that I've been a lieutenant, this is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week job. All the guys know that they can get a hold of one of my two phones because I carry two, and my wife hates them both, but I always have two phones. This isn't a job where you can split your time. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of dedication. It takes your accessibility to your guys. Our sheriff, if he'll be the first one to say, hey, if you guys need help, call me. That's important. You got to be accessible not only to your deputies, but to the community as well, right? So, no, I think it would be very difficult to balance two different, almost careers. That's just my opinion. So currently my extra jobs, let's put it that way, I teach concealed carry, and that's once a month. Can I schedule that around my schedule? Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, I've had it happen where, hey guys, I'm going to have to reschedule this class. I've got to go deal with something. Things happen. A lot of people understand that. So could I balance that and continue? I love teaching firearms. I love teaching concealed carry. If at one point it became more than I can handle, obviously the most important thing to me is my responsibility to the sheriff's office and the people of Colfax, and of course our deputies. So that's a great question. That was a long question. All right. So some people assume that because you're running as a Democrat, your faith may not be, excuse me, can I get some water? Yeah. I've been talking a lot, sorry.
Take that as well.
That word. Thank you, Mama. That was a good one. All right. I did. I'm losing my voice. Your faith may not be important to you. Can you tell us about your relationship with God and how your Christian faith influences your life? Thank you so much. Your family and your approach to public service. Wow. That's a good question. That was you.
Way to go, Merle.
Yeah. So, what's important to me? Obviously, I'm running for the people of Colfax County, right? But God's first, always first. I get choked up easily, so I apologize. Yeah, faith is important. We all got to have it. Now I'm losing my voice. But without that, I wouldn't be here today, in my opinion. We've grown our family has grown our faith over the years, and it's only gotten stronger, I would say, in the past 3 years, right? But without that, again, I would not be running for sheriff of Colfax County. I prayed a lot on it. I was debating on what I wanted to do. Ultimately, that's what I was told to do. So when people ask me who you're running for, I said, yeah, God first and the people of Colfax County. So thank you for whoever wrote that. Can I answer any other questions for you guys? Please feel free to ask me anything.
So you learned early on what GFCI stands for?
GFCI. No, I don't know what that means. But can you tell me?
Oh, yeah, he could.
God, family, country, in that order.
Amen. That's great. I like that. Yes, absolutely. Any other questions? On my cards, my phone number is on there. My personal number. Not my work number, my personal number. If you guys have questions, if you have concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I will be the first one. I mean, my phone, all our phones have this fancy screening system that doesn't even let you get through to the person nowadays, but feel free to leave a message. I promise you I will return your phone call. I've had, for many of my meet and greets, people call me and ask me questions. I will always answer my phone. She hates it, but I will always answer it. Yes, ma'am.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, absolutely. No, yes, please. Please do.
I might introduce myself. My name is Linda Gallegos, and I also am a candidate running. I'm also a candidate running for election in the primaries. I also run under the Democrat ticket. But I wanted to comment when that came up, you're a Democrat. First and foremost, as Beto said, I too agree. God first, pray on it. He leads you there. He'll take you through it. But when we sign up to run as public servants, we're not signing up as a Democrat or a Republican because we serve everybody. And we don't ask, what party do you belong to when you come into our office? We'll serve you and the others can wait in line. That's not the way it goes. So that was a great question. And I just felt like I needed to follow up on that because I share the same values. I also want to say that I grew up in Maxwell and I've lived in Raton for 40 years. I've known Beto for all the years that he's been in Raton. When the question was asked, what differentiates him from his opponent is, I know both of them, but as you see from his demeanor, he has the character and the personality that belongs in this type of really important position. And it's not, let me go in there and be the tough guy, ride in on a black horse, guns a-blazing. And I didn't realize he was certified de-escalation person, but that's his personality. He's not just trained in that. I mentioned his wife is a jewel. He has a lovely family dynamic. And for me, that's very important. You mentioned God, family, and country. Thank you for that. And he lives it. And I appreciate that. I live that as well. But I just want to say that, this is about you. It's not about me, but I just want to say I'm not from Eagle Nest or Angel Fire or the Valley. My parents, my grandparents, my parents, and my great-grandparents were, but I don't currently live here. I try to come up here when I can. And when I was a previous assessor, I did come up here. I understand how much you all feel like you're not heard, you're not seen, you're not represented. But I think if Beto was to get into office, you'd see the change that you all are looking for.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you guys. Oh, yes, question. Yes, sir.
Being retired military, leadership is a big thing for me. So say that your opponent wins the election.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing?
I will, how do I answer that question? Yeah, leadership is very important. And to be honest with you, I'd have to really think about my next step at that point, whether I would stay at the sheriff's office or move on. So, that would be my best answer for you right now, without getting too much into detail.
That's a tough question.
It's a very tough question, but absolutely, yes, it would be something I would really have to pray on and think about. So, thank you for that.
One
Yes,
last point.
yes.
How do you pronounce our town?
Eagle Nest.
Thank you.
Yep.
One eagle, one nest.
Yes, ma'am.
I may be still in your thunder and I don't want to go.
No.
But if we want to support your campaign financially,
Yes, ma'am.
how would we make the check out?
You can just write it out to Beto Dominguez. I think there's a link. Is that on the cards on the back?
I think so. The QR code.
Yeah, that you scan that. You can do it online, and you can just make a donation on there. Yeah, and I have a sheet right there that you can, if you wanted to donate cash, you can, and that all goes into the campaign. So, yes, ma'am.
Part of the problem is in this election coming up, we walk in where Republicans are Democrats, we go to Republicans, we can't vote.
Right.
So basically, right now, the people that can only help you are your fellow Democrats.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, and the primary. Yes. In the general, that's when I need everybody to come vote. I would appreciate all of your support. Because again, every one of you matter to me, and I appreciate it that you guys even took the time this evening on your weekend to be here. So I greatly appreciate it. A special thanks to Nathan and his wife and everybody out here because.
But the guy's not a politician. He's not asking you the important part. If you've listened to what's happened and what he's talked about, talk to people. This is where it's important. He's not a politician. It's not a greasy, prepared speech that's out there that's smooth and uninterrupted and, Go out and talk to other people. People need to know that this is important. That for our valley, this is extremely important. They need to know, and most people look at it and they'll vote straight down the line. Oh, I'm a Republican or this is where they vote, but not about the person or the guy that's going to be doing the job. That's why I invited a lot of you people here so you could see what the guy's about. You know, he's not don't take it the wrong way.
No.
He's not the smooth, complete, perfect line that's just, comes out and tells you what you want to hear. It's a tough job.
It is.
And it's not going to get any easier. But
You mean he's not Gavin Newsom?
no! But talk to other people. Again, you know what? Word of mouth is the best thing in this world.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you, Linda, for joining us. I really appreciate you being here. So thank you for being a part of this.
Come talk to Linda. Come
Yes,
talk to Linda.
yes. And if you guys have questions about the assessor position, please come talk to her. She's a great candidate for it. So if you have any questions for her, she's here. So please feel free to do so. Thank you all again. I appreciate you. I'm going to be here for a little bit. So if you guys have any other questions, I appreciate all of you.